Hello, Seb.Brantigan here. Very excited to have you here. So good evening to you. Really appreciate you being here. And so what I'm actually going to cover tonight is the 6 principles on, I think originally it was titled How I Made $918 in 35 days. But what's actually happened is these principles have really taken off. And so I've got to a point now where I've made just over $400. I think it was like $408 in the space of 48 hours, 2 days. And so I kind of changed the title of the webinar a bit. And so this webinar really is for anyone who is a network marketer, a home business owner. You might be in direct sales, or maybe you're not in any business at all, and perhaps you're in your dream career and you're just looking to climb the ladder a bit. So maybe you're looking for a promotion, or it could be that you're running a traditional business looking for the ideal employee. I mean, the reality is if I've never spoken to you before, then I don't know exactly why you're here, but I do know that what you can actually learn from these principles is not just how to make money, but how to be more confident, how to be better with people, and how to solve their problems. And when you solve people's problems in a way that offers value to them, in the way that I'm going to show you, then your results will just completely change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to my slides here. Before I do, I want to just quickly say thank you for being on here again. I really appreciate your time. This webinar is not going to be more than 45 minutes, maybe a bit less than that. And I wanted to give you a gift to show your appreciation. So if you stay tuned to the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you a free PDF report on how to find your target market. Again, it's for any business, any career, whatever it is. This 4 or 5 page PDF is going to help you to narrow down and really focus on who exactly you want to attract. You know, none of this stuff is going to work unless you're attracting the right person and being very specific, and this report will help you do that. So again, stay tuned to the end of the webinar and you'll be able to get more details on that. The other thing I've been doing as well is helping business owners raise as much as $320 to up to $1,500 in the space of 7 days or less in some cases. And so there'll be more details on that towards the end of the webinar, but the actual focus of this webinar is mainly going to be value and training. I'm not going to bring up my opportunity here. This is not like this is not me trying to trick you into, you know, looking at my comp plan or anything crazy like that. It's just going to be pure value and information that will benefit you no matter what you're doing. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into it, and I'm just going to share my screen. Let me just, okay. So you can see my screen here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Prepared a presentation here for you. So again, here are the 6 breakthrough principles a 24-year-old Brit-preneur used to earn over $400 in 2 days, no rejection, no chasing friends or family. And I'm going to show you how you can apply this same blueprint in your business and life as well. So make sure to take notes and apply what you learned tonight. I am doing my best to record this. Google Hangouts is not always reliable, so I can never guarantee a recording, no matter how hard people beg me. And I will be going quite quickly. I talk quite quickly as well. So be sure to take notes. And if there is a recording, just inbox me and I can send it to you if you needed to go over any part which maybe you didn't understand. So I'm just going to jump right into it, guys. So before we get into the real content, I want you just to ask yourself these questions here. What if you could connect with potentially thousands of people already interested in or are already purchasing your offer and create rapport with them instantly? What if you could have hungry leads, potential customers or clients knocking on your door until it literally fell to pieces? What if your phone was ringing off the hook with strangers desperately wanting to buy from you, credit card in hand, every single day? Would building your business be easier? Do you think it would make life less stressful overall if people magnetically came to you instead of you having to chase everybody all the time? And guys, I remember when I first started building my business, and I'll get to my story in just a second. I remember just constantly chasing people, you know, handing out leaflets on the street. You know, I was on trains prospecting people, leaving business cards, just wishing and hoping people would come and find me. You know, I was just hassling people. I was really anxious about doing it. I hated doing it. And I know you're probably in the same kind of situation if you've done any kind of network marketing business or anything like that. So it's not going to be anything that perhaps you've heard or seen before. So I would ask you to approach the stuff with an open mind. Some of it might kind of conflict with some beliefs that you already have, but in reality, some of these beliefs can actually be holding us back. And so it's good to open our minds sometimes and take in some new information and some new considerations. So once we've understood that, then we can just move along here together. So my story, I think some of you already know me quite well, but I will go over my story just briefly. So I joined the home business industry back in 2009. Once I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and when I started to understand entrepreneurship. Okay, so just to tell you a short story of how that actually happened. It was way back in 2007. I was 15, 16 years old, and I was in high school. And what happened one day is we had this public speaker guy. He came in to speak to our year group, which was about 300 students, right? And so he was basically preparing us and rallying us for an exam that was coming up. So he wanted to, I think his job and his purpose of being there was to make sure that we had good exam results, basically. So what happened is he started talking about various different things in his life that he'd learned from. He was quite kind of captivating. You know, he talked about his experience in the army and how he used to fight in the Iraq War, and he was jumping up and down the room and jumping over chairs and under tables and stuff. So the guy was quite animated, and that really caught my attention. And so here's the interesting thing, though, is this guy was speaking for probably about 3 hours, maybe more. And here's the thing, I barely remember anything that he was talking about in those whole 3 hours, except at one point, I can't remember which point, and I cannot remember the context, but he mentioned the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And at the time, I'd never had any understanding of entrepreneurship. I literally had no clue what it was. I never owned my own business before, and I have a grandfather who runs a chemical business, but other than that, I never really had any exposure to entrepreneurship and being a business owner prior to that day. Anyway, so what happened is he mentioned Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and something in my mind said I need to go and talk to him about what Rich Dad, Poor Dad is and actually ask him what it is. I could have just ignored it. It was one of those defining moments when I knew that being an entrepreneur is in my blood, and it sounds a bit crazy, but for me, I don't see it as a coincidence that I can listen to this guy talk for over 3 hours, and the only useful information that I could remember was him saying Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and for some reason that just stood out in my mind. So once he'd finished talking, everyone else went home except me. I stayed and I went and talked to this public speaker guy. His name was Raj or something. I wish I could remember his name just to thank him for introducing me to this amazing new world of just new world, basically. So I asked him more about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this was the turning point for me in my life when I realized that I could be an entrepreneur and that it was possible. And this guy was going up and down the country doing his own thing, doing public speaking. And I was like, wow, that's awesome, that's amazing. And he proceeded then to take out his wallet, and I was like, what is he doing? Is he going to give me money or something? What's going on? I was a 15-year-old kid. I didn't know what was going on. And so he took out this £5 note, right? We have pound notes here in the UK, and he had the £5 note, and I noticed that he'd drawn 4 zeros after that, so it spelled out 50,000. And he said to me, I have this in front of me every single day. I have this on my ceiling in my wallet. This is my goal. This is what I'm looking to reach. It just blew my mind. Have you ever been in a situation where someone says something to you and you're just like, what the hell? What even has happened? What just happened? It was one of those moments, and that day my life changed. That day it did a complete 180 on everything I'd ever believed before. I was very much brought up in just your normal household, never really had that much money, had just about enough. And I never understood the concept of wealth until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I thought, wow, there's so much more opportunity out there than I ever expected there to be when I was growing up. So that's really what triggered my interest. So way back in 2009, 2010, I Googled how to make money online. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I understood that there were the four quadrants. There's you're either an employee, you're self-employed, you're a business owner, or you're an investor. You're usually in one of those four categories, or maybe you're in multiple categories in some cases. But I read that book, and I had no platform to run on. So I did what any curious kid would do, and I Googled how to make money online. And you've probably done the same thing a bunch of times. I know I did, like a million times. And that sent me down an absolute rabbit hole of options, such as filling in surveys, clicking ads, and I was able to make money online, but it was barely enough to pay for dinner out from like a month's work. It was it was absolute. It just wasn't worth doing. I wouldn't recommend anyone making money in that way. So here's what happened after that. I gave up on that, and I spent thousands of dollars, and I just wasted years, literally months and years, on products. I eventually found network marketing just through chance, just through buying lots of different things, loads of training programs, lots of webinars. I just kept purchasing, product after product, thing after thing, and maybe you've been in the same situation. And, I had nothing to show for it, absolutely nothing to show for it. So after going through hell and then some, and bearing in mind, I was doing this alone. I had no mentor, I had no guidance. I had literally no clue what I was doing in my categories. So after going through hell and then some, I almost threw in the towel. I'd been in the industry for about maybe 2 or 3 years. And, I was just so frustrated that it just couldn't work for me. I saw all these people online making big money, and I saw them on the fancy yachts. And, I even saw kids my age making, just fat stacks online. I was like, come on, Seb, you can do this. And nothing really changed for me. For about 3-4 years, it was just pure struggle. And then I discovered something called attraction marketing, which you might be familiar with. And that then led me to this 6-step formula. So now I'm going to actually explain more on the next page. And by the way, that's a picture of me at my first event ever. I went to Dallas, Texas back in 2012. For an event. So that's when I started getting really serious about my vision, and making this entrepreneurship thing a career rather than just a hobby. But before I actually get into this, I know I'm kind of holding you up here, but I want to preface what's going on here. So I want to show you actual data and my results from applying what I'm going to teach you tonight. Now you can see this is a very recent, very recent income snapshot. 19th of January. We're on the 21st of January now. It will soon be the 22nd of January. It's almost midnight here in the UK, which is where I live, by the way, in England. So I literally had my biggest day online 2 days ago within the past 4 years from rolling out a new project. So it's very cool stuff. Let me just show you some more. I had a day last week where I brought in 6 people into my business, literally 6 people. It was 7 total for that week. And it was just absolutely astonishing. Here's another income stream that I'm doing. I made $539 in a single month. It was like $400 of that was just profit. Absolutely amazing. And literally today, I made a sale, and I had no clue who this person was, and I wasn't expecting the sale. I wasn't even at my computer when this happened. And the other thing I've managed to do is hit a leadership rank within an affiliate company called Miley System Pro, which we have to get 10 signups and have 5 still active. And I also managed to reach boss in another company I'm doing, where you have to actually get 5 sales in a single month, and they give you a nice little commission bonus for that. So you can say that these strategies can work, and these are all very recent transactions. So this is not stuff that maybe worked 5 years ago. This is stuff that is very fresh and very current that can work for you. But I want to give you a warning. This stuff's not for the faint-hearted. If you apply what I'm teaching here, your competition will literally hate you. I mean it. Honestly, I mean it. I've had a few messages quite recently from other marketers criticizing this method because they're just jealous that not only can it work so well, but it can duplicate as well. So you and your team can use this to gain more customers, distributors, clients, ideal employees, and whatever you're looking for and more. Now, obviously, I can't guarantee your success with these methods. However, they work very well for my team and I, so I'm more than happy to share them with you. And you've just seen the proof that they actually work, and this is not pie in the sky stuff. This is like genuine results that you can actually have in your business and life too. So here's number one. You want to copy successful people. Find someone who can mentor you directly. Okay, having a mentor from a book, an audio, or anything else, that can be great, and I do recommend that, but it's nowhere near as powerful as having a personal one-on-one mentoring. Now, this will require you to surrender your pride and ego a little bit for some of you. For some more than others, but you have to do this in a way without convincing yourself that you have a better way. That oh well, that sounds like a great idea, but I have a way that's way better and way faster. Well, if you did, then you wouldn't be struggling. I'm just saying. It's a lot easier to copy people who have already done it and are already doing it. And just a heads up, your ego can be quite cancerous for your business, and it can actually prevent you from moving forward. Just a side note for you to be aware. And successful people, they don't have much of an ego, or they don't have one at all in some cases. And even successful people will go out and seek mentors and other people who are more successful than them so that they can learn from them. Okay, now here's an example. Tiger Woods is arguably one of the best golfers in the world. He still has a coach. Tiger Woods, right? Anyone who mentions Tiger Woods says, oh yeah, he's the golfer. He's won championships around the world, and he has a coach. So do you see the value of having a coach now? You probably do. Okay, so tip number two, you need to know and find your audience. You don't want to sell steak to a vegetarian. Focus on who you want to target. So for example, I talk to existing network marketers, and that it's because their pain is easy to predict. So an example is most network marketers don't know how to generate leads. They don't know how to recruit reps to their business. They don't know how to duplicate or upsell people into their business, and they don't know how to get retention. So those are some typical problems that most network marketers have. And the other thing is they've also purchased something before that I offer, which is easier than creating a new customer. So let's think about this and put this into another example. Wouldn't it be easier to sell someone a car who's bought a car before? I would say so, because when they bought that first car, that's the point when they did all of that research. They were considering, should I buy a car? What kind of car should I buy? That's when they were doing the most amount of thinking and considering. When they've already bought the car, they're over that kind of initial hurdle. And so when they go to buy another car, they don't see it as such a big purchase anymore, because they've already done it. They've already been through it. So that's another good reason. And you want to consider this when choosing your audience. And the PDF that I'll hand to you later on at the end of the webinar will be really helpful for this. Okay, so consider your audience's pain. I've just given you an example of one, but what solutions can they really tap into that would solve their problem? So if a network marketer is struggling to generate leads, then obviously you should do a training on how to generate more leads. Okay, and can you do this in a way where you're telling a powerful story? Okay, can you tell a story that actually will trigger their emotions and get them emotionally connected to what you're saying? That's quite powerful, because a lot of people do buy emotionally rather than logically. So the other thing you need to think about is, so you've got your audience, you've figured out who it is. Where would they hang out? Are they in Facebook groups? Can you reach out to them through Facebook Messenger, or can you do advertising on Facebook? Or it might not even be Facebook at all. It might be an online forum. It might be a coffee shop. It might be a meetup group. It doesn't matter where, but you have to know where your audience hang out and kind of mingle with them in a little bit. But again, not being a salesperson, we want to offer solutions to their problems, and we want to provide value. And I'll cover that in the next couple of slides here. Now, the other thing you might want to do to find your audience quickly is consider using a paid marketing budget if you wish to accelerate your business. And this literally can make the difference between having success in a couple of weeks or a couple of years. You know, what would you rather do? Would you rather succeed quicker, or what would you rather make money quicker, or would you rather make money slower? I'm pretty sure you can answer that question in your own mind. I would rather make money faster, and so for me, having a paid marketing budget is something I seriously, I take very seriously, and perhaps you should too. Just a suggestion. Number 3, as I talked about a second ago, you want to create value and trust, and you want to do it in a smart way. Okay, so did you know you can actually do this on autopilot? I don't really like to use that word often, but genuinely you can, by creating content online on a medium that you're most comfortable with. So what would be the best medium for you? If you're someone like me who's quite comfortable in front of the camera, you're quite kind of energetic, and for me it's video, just because I'm most comfortable with doing it. But if you're someone who doesn't like to show their face on camera, but you can still speak quite confidently, then you might want to consider doing a podcast series where you're creating some value. Okay, but if you don't like speaking or being on video, but you're a great typer and you like writing, well, obviously blogging or article writing would be more suitable for you. So I would recommend, if you're new to this, trying out a few different mediums. See if you like video marketing, see if you like blogging. It might not be any of those, but just try out a medium, a platform that you're most comfortable with and that you will do consistently. And I'll cover consistency in the next slide here. So by the way, you do need to hustle daily. So when I say the smart way, I'm not saying don't do any work, but I would say you need to work hard and smart. Okay, so you need to hustle every day, but that doesn't mean that you can't work smart too. You want to take charge in your business and make executive decisions that will move your business forward. So what exactly do I mean by that? Well, going back to the example I gave, how about creating a paid marketing campaign where you can create value and trust quickly with a lot of people in a very short period of time? Now, for me, that would be the smart way of doing things. So anyway, creating content online, we want this content to actually focus on value. Okay, not about pitching your deal. And I'm going to be completely blunt with you. 9 out of 10 people really don't give a crap about your business. Seriously, they don't care. They don't care about your products. They don't care about your comp plan. No matter how much you tell them about it, they don't care. They care about how it can make a difference in their life, how it can make their life better. Because as I already mentioned, people usually buy based on emotion, not on logic and facts. And that's why people remember stories, and they very rarely remember, statistics, and they don't remember things like how long the company's been going and the history of the company founder and what's in the products. They buy based on how it can improve their life. You have to understand that. So number 4, be consistent. Okay, I will be honest with you, this is 90% of the time why people buy and join from me. They've been watching on the sidelines, most likely for weeks, for months, even for years, and then they get started. Now, as I already mentioned, people need to know, like, and trust you before they buy. And in some cases, this takes a lot of time and consistent follow-up with continued exposures of your offer. And we've all heard that people need to see your brand or your offer 5 to 7 times before making a decision. Your prospects are watching. Now, they might not be interacting with you on social media or replying to your emails, but they're seeing you, and they're just seeing if you stand the test of time. So you just have to be consistent with offering your value, being consistent with your message and with your goals and where you're going, and make sure to share these with your audience. Have some transparency, be quite vulnerable and open up certain parts of your business and of your life to people. People really appreciate this, and they will see that you're just a normal guy, a normal girl, and that you're human and that you just want to help. Okay, so number 5, you want to learn something, do it, and teach it. So go out and learn a strategy, get a result with it, and then showcase what you've been able to do. Okay, so people will follow you even if your results are minimal. They want to know if your experience They want to know your experience a lot of the time before they even join. Now, even if you only made $5 today, just share that, because guess what? Most people never make a money. They never make a penny online. They never make anything online. Most people, they will just spin their wheels doing the same old thing and never make any money. And so if you got online and said, I made $5 today, you get people interested. I guarantee you someone would want to see that. You know, you're actually starving people of opportunities by not sharing something like this, because, you know, maybe you're thinking, well, it's not a lot of money. Well, no, it's not. But let me tell you, it's progress. You know, don't beat yourself up about it if you're only getting small results, especially if you're new. Okay, even if you've been in for like a year. Well, you know, if you've been grinding away for a year and working for a year, you got to consider, what were you doing for the other 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years before that? Okay, just consider these things. And doing things like this, it shows leadership, because in order to attract leaders and attract higher caliber of people, you need to become one. Okay, leaders are always investing in themselves, going to seminars and finding ways to provide the most value to their audience and to their team and people that they work with. So you need to be doing leadership activities, and almost every leader I've ever talked to or seen online, they learn something, they do it, and they teach it. Okay, so leadership is mainly teaching, but it's also doing as well. It's you're leading by example. That's basically what you're doing. Okay, so number 6, you want to plug into personal development daily. Okay, so why this is important is because how do you develop the mindset of a top earner at a job where most people earn an average salary? They're just doing average things in an average environment. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's typically not an environment where a top earner is created from. It's just not that way of thinking. You know, so you'll come up against something called the human conditioning quite often. In fact, you'll probably battle it for the rest of your life. I'm just being honest with you. You can never get rid of human conditioning, but our best weapon for neutralizing this is plugging into something positive. So I would highly recommend you read, maybe 5 pages of a personal development book a day. I'm currently reading Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule. Phenomenal book. You know, you can actually get books on Amazon for like $5 pre-owned, you know, for a couple of pounds in the UK. There might even be some books in your local library, you know. So, you know, always be on the lookout. And you can even go over to YouTube, and in most cases, the book that you're thinking of reading could just be an audio version on YouTube that you've got for free. You know, so you don't have to spend, you know, tons and tons of money on personal development right away if you don't have it. I recommend eventually you do, and eventually you invest in your business. But, you know, if you're just starting out, that's you know, don't make an excuse. Don't be a victim. Just go out and make it happen. So the other thing you want to do is you want to shut off all media as much as you possibly can, because your mind is like a sponge and it will just absorb what you give it, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And the media, all it will actually do is suppress your thoughts and actions. You know, the media is what their goal is just to make you think that the world is a terrible place. They induce fear into people. You know, they make think people that the world is a terrible place to be in. Well, guess what? I think that's bullshit. Okay, I think the world can appear exactly how you choose for it to look. Okay, I genuinely believe that, and you need to believe it as well. Now, just a bonus tip for you here tonight. I want you to be very specific on what you want. This goes for anything, whether it's prospects you talk to, relationships you enter into, whether that's a personal or a business relationship. You attract who you are, not what you want. I'll say that again because that's so crucial. You attract who you are, not what you want. So be very clear on what you do want and start acting in alignment with what you want. So if you want to attract a top earner, you need to be doing things that top earners do. So what do top earners do in network marketing? They retail and they recruit, because those are the only 2 things that they get paid for in that industry. So if you're retailing and recruiting, guess what? You're going to attract people who retail and recruit. If you're sitting around watching TV all day, guess what? You're going to attract other people who sit and watch TV all day. Sorry, it's just the way it is. So just bear this in mind before you even go out and do any of this stuff, okay? Now, if you don't do this, then here's what will happen. You'll come up against challenge after challenge in your business and in your life, and you'll just keep attracting the things, the people, the situations that you don't want, until you finally you give in and you say, do you know what, I decide that I'm going to get a bit clearer, and I'm going to be very, very narrow focused on what I want to do. Okay, so what are your goals? How are you going to achieve your goals? Have you achieved a similar goal before as a stepping stone? So an example of that is, I talk to people all the time, and I ask them and I say, so John, how much money are you looking to make per month in 2016? Well, I want to make $50,000 a month. Great. Okay. Have you ever made that before? No. Okay. What is the most amount of money you've ever made in a month, ever, in your whole life? $2,000. Do you see the difference? There's no way you can make $50,000 a month if you haven't made $5,000 a month. You can't make $5,000 a month unless you've made $500 a month. You probably couldn't make $500 a month unless you made $50 a month. Do you see where I'm going with this? You have to do this as stepping stones, guys. This is a process. You're not just going to rock up and log on the internet and post a few links here, post a few links there, and then sales will just magically fall in your lap. That's not how this happens. Set small, achievable goals and work your way up. You want to set small goals and then just completely 10x the amount of work that you think you have to do. And guess what? You'll surpass your goal. That's what happened to me. That's how I managed to have a $300 day and then make $90 literally like 18 hours after that, $400 in 2 days. That's exactly what I did. I started off saying, well, how can I make $100 a month? And then when I smashed that out, I said, all right, well, let's up my game a bit, and now I'm probably making about $1,000 a month. That's what I made last month, and that's what I'm going to make this month, probably more. So that's just how it works. So anyway, I wanted to keep this webinar short, and I wanted to just thank you for attending. So I did promise you a gift, and your gift is below. So where to get your gift? So the gift is, if you're catching this towards the end of the webinar, a PDF which will show you how to attract your target market. Okay, so this guide worth $97 is crucial. Okay, and I put this together because so many people, they just missed the boat on this. You can have the best system, the best whatever, right? You can have the best program, the best business, the best coaching service, the best product, but if you're not offering it to the right person or the person who's the best fit for it, forget about it. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to see the light. Okay, you have to find the right people, and this PDF is going to help you do that. So I know this is really going to help you out. So go over to seb.brantigan.net/target market PDF for your free guide. Okay, you're going to absolutely love it. Now, what I also mentioned earlier is that there is a way in which you can create a marketing budget. So let's briefly talk about that. Okay, I don't want to hang on this webinar too long, so I won't share that many details, but I will mention just a few things here. So if I were to tell you that there was a way you could generate as much as between $320 and as much as $1,500 to put towards a paid marketing campaign in as little as 7 days, without cold calling, without chasing any one market, would you be interested? Because if someone asked me that question, I would be like, damn, that's awesome. I would just drop whatever I was doing and rush over to something like that. So if you are interested, then I want you to just message me on Facebook for more details. If you don't have me on Facebook, just go to fb.com or facebook.com/s.j.brantigan. Again, it's facebook.com/s.j.brantigan. Only if you're serious about it, okay? And as you can see here are some results from this project that we're doing here. Again, I don't want to mention it on the webinar here. I don't want to drag this on, but as you can see, I made $318 in 24 days. We had Michelle Grote, $954 in 3 days. Darren Little, who's one of my mentors, $8,500 in 7 days. Sean Harvey is doing incredible, $1,800 in 3 days. And we've even had a 16-year-old come in and $1,000 in 3 days. Absolutely incredible. Most American families, they struggle to make that in like 2 or 3 weeks of working. Absolutely incredible. So really hope you enjoyed the presentation here. I'm just going to stop sharing and jump back over to my screen. So I really appreciate you being here tonight. And like I said, if you are interested in creating a marketing budget, which I feel is crucial, if you really want to get somewhere in your business, if you want to go from like here and just absolutely bring it up to here, right? If that's something you genuinely want to do, then you need a marketing budget. Okay, and I don't care how you do it, whether you sell stuff, whether you cancel your satellite TV subscription, but you need a marketing budget. And if you want help with that, then just get in touch with me. Okay, I know some of you are watching this webinar by email, so if you don't have me on Facebook, you can just reply back by email. We can talk on Skype as well. My Skype is seb.brantigan. Make sure to add me on there so that we can get properly connected and I can see how I can help you. So again, really appreciate you being here. It's been Seb Brantigan. Thank you so much. And if you got some value tonight, just drop me a message on Facebook. I would love to hear from you and just want to know what you like best about it. And so that's it really. I wanted to keep this very short, very sweet for you tonight. So hope you got some value. And if you did, make sure to share it with some friends and share it with someone who you feel may benefit. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're on here, if this video is on some page somewhere, and there's a button below, I want you to click it and follow the instructions that then come on the page. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye for now.